What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the studio. I'm excited to share with you our latest art challenge. So this week we're going to be building off of the challenge that we completed last week. And last week we had asked you to create a collage that shared something about your life, gave some sort of advice, or advertised for a fake or an imagined event. You were working in collage using found materials in books, magazines, newspapers, things that you hand drew or hand painted, and you were creating an image that was in a flyer format. So it was communicating your idea of one of those three topics or themes. This week, we're going to take that work and we're going to use it as our inspiration for our next artwork. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about this idea of working in series. So when we say that an artist typically works in series, this means that an artist will start with an idea and then they're going to work through that idea in multiple variations or different versions of the same idea. So for this week, we're going to take that inspiration from the collage that you made. So the first thing I want to do is share with you a little bit from a book called This Equals That. So This Equals That is a really awesome art book that I picked up in Portland a couple years ago at an amazing art gallery / bookstore called Ampersand. And I highly recommend, if you can get up there after the pandemic has passed and check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So the great thing about this book is that it's kind of like a visual essay. So it starts off at the beginning and it says, "This book is a circle made up of squares. Turn through the pages, consider the pairs." So when we look at the first page, you're going to notice that there's two images, or the first two pages together. And we have this page over here, and it's got this kind of right angle triangle, and then over here we have this shark image. And what you'll notice as you go through this book is that there's going to be pairs of images that share similarities, but there's also some major differences. So the first thing we notice that's similar is going to be the shape of these two forms or objects. We kind of have this triangular shape, and they're both kind of leaning in towards one another. You're also going to notice that there's some similarities in terms of the palette or the colors that are used. So we have this kind of pink color here, and then you can see that mimicked here inside of the teeth of the shark, and a little bit back here. It's a little hard for me to say. Oh, and also in this really awesome jumpsuit that this young person is wearing. And there's some pretty sweet motorcycles in there too. So then when we turn the page, we have the same image from the last page, but now it's combined with a new image. And so we see that the similarities here are palette. So we have the blue sky in the background, kind of matching the blue sky back here. And then we have this triangular form again, and this kind of mimics the teeth of the shark. But notice, again, big difference in scale here. So as we're moving along, the photographer or the photographs that are chosen, there's some major differences that are going to start to take place. So then we have the pennant flags here again, and we see that same kind of zigzag triangular repetition happening in these look like sawzall blades or jigsaw blades here. And these are all in all different colors. So the palette is starting to change. Notice the background here is this kind of neutral tan color, whereas we have that blue for the sky again back here. But it's mostly the shape that's repeating here. And then also the use of a diagonal line here is mimicked here with the use of a diagonal on this page. As we go along, it'll continue to change. We have the sawzall blades and a set of spiral staircase here. So then we have a curvilinear form or a curved line versus just the straight diagonal lines here. But again, the mimicking of the triangular cuts in the stairs. Similar background tones. Then from the spiral staircase, we have similar background color to a photograph of a hand holding this little spiral section of a leaf. And as we go through the book, I don't want to show you the whole book, but this kind of continues on, right? So we have the spiral leaf to a hand-drawn map. So natural forms versus man-made forms. Some similarities in color, some differences in color. And we have this map that's very curvy to this map that's got more like geometric straight lines. And then as we go through the whole book, there's a ton of photos. When we get to the back of the book, the reason that it said that it's something about a circle, that it gets all the way back to the beginning, is that we have this sailboat here with the triangles, and then it ends with this same image that we began with, the right triangle, the square. So this equals that is a really great example of how an artist might take an idea and kind of build upon it, or allow it to shift and morph and change and grow. So I want to share with you how my collage project has shifted and morphed and changed into a series of paintings that I'm currently working on. So I started my collage project very straightforward here. I was advertising some advice or something personal about my life here. And this piece is based on some Eastern philosophy around Zen Buddhism. So then from this collage, I decided that I wanted to make an abstract artwork out of it for this art challenge. My favorite type of art to make is abstract drawings or paintings, so I knew this was something that was going to keep me interested and it was going to be fun for me to do. And I think it's important to work on things that are fun or interesting for ourselves, because then it doesn't feel like work when you're doing it. So I did a series of sketches where I simplified the shapes from my collage. I got rid of the stuff that I didn't like or that wasn't interesting to me, and I kept the things that were most interesting or intriguing to me. From there, I decided to create a painting using some of these shapes. Now that painting had its own kind of journey and path that it took me on, and it really brought about some major changes in the way I was approaching making my abstract artwork. So from here, I got inspired to make more sketches in my sketchbook, which you'll see on the screen now. And you'll notice that there's some similarities between these sketches. Each of them starts out as a simple line drawing, and then there's color kind of expanding and being pulled off of those shapes. I got really excited that the lines were disintegrating or disappearing into the shapes of color in the background. So from here, I started to create some paintings, and I was excited again by the way that the color was taking over the painting, whereas before in my abstract paintings there were really clean edges and mostly black, gray, different grays and whites. So each painting has some things that are similar and some things that are changing as they grow. So at the beginning, most of the paintings had still pretty hard edges, and as the paintings went on, they became looser and looser and more expressive. So I was not being so concerned about making sure that all the areas of color were really distinct and clean, and I was allowing them to be, I guess an easy way to say it is messier. So this has been really exciting for me, and I've enjoyed the process, and I still am working on a lot of these paintings. I think I have about 13 of them in the works right now. So you can see how one idea can then grow or spawn many other ideas after that. So this week, again, I'm hoping that you can pick something that's interesting to you from what you did last week and expand upon it or grow it. It might be the idea itself of what you were advertising or trying to communicate with your collage. It might be some sort of shape in your collage. It might be some colors that you see in your collage. Whatever it is, take it and run with it and see where it takes you. I hope you have a really good time with this challenge, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Peace in, peace out.